and just checking it out. I was like, because like yeah, we'll talk about your stuff, but like yeah, I've been fascinated with your whole concept of going into horrors, like and doing more than that. I don't want to just call you a horror director because you have some other dope stuff too.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Got some lady in the background bothering me, so I didn't want to. I was like, man, relax.
I got into horror like an early age, man. Maybe like 5 or 6 or something, like watching Chucky.
Oh, 5 or 6. That is crazy. Like, oh my god, that's wild. Because like I would watch like the scariest thing I watched like around that time. Like you would say, how old are you? Like I'm 32.
I'm 34.
34? Okay. Yeah.
That's
So,
back, huh?
exactly. So it was like the scariest thing. Like I thought so much stuff was scary when I was a kid. Now I'm not scared of them. But like when I saw Signs for the first time and like Sixth Sense and stuff, I was so scared of that stuff. Like Signs was like seeing that alien. I was like, what is going on? No, this can't be real. So it's just like, so you watching Chucky at that young age? Nah, I was just sticking to my Super Nintendo and stuff. So. Oh man.
Yeah, Science. That's from M. Night Shyamalan. That's one of my favorite. That's actually that's the guy that got me into filmmaking, pretty much. I love that dude, man.
Yeah, he had like when M. Night has his peak, like he has his really great ones, and then he has his really down ones. So I'm just like,
yeah,
you can't ever tell with that dude. But I like that he takes the chance, like just take the chance in making something. Might not be great, but when it is great, I enjoy it.
Heck yeah! It's the last movie that I like from him. Well, I like every movie from him, but the last one that was really good was The Visit.
The Visit.
Yeah.
I actually could see you liking that a lot, actually. From watching your films, yeah, I can see that. Because I know the last one I liked from him was Split. But The Visit, I watched that and I was like, yo, this is all over, like, this is like really all, it seems like it's all over the place, but it's still focusing on a story. And I was like, it confused me when I watched it at first. And I was like, what? But I feel like if I watch it now, I'll have a different perspective because I've seen so many different films now. But before I was always like, this is so dumb. Like, why is this going on? Instead of thinking about the deeper picture of things. So
yeah, I can see that. That was and when he did that movie, he had just came off of making like movies that people were just pissed at.
Yeah, The Happening and all those other, yep. So people are just like, why? But yeah, I'm gonna let people roll in a little bit, and then we'll start even more. What up, King? What up, Amber? What up, Bunny? Like I said, I might not be talking to chat as much because I want to actually like have a deep conversation, but I appreciate everybody coming through, and I might have to do a little Q&A. Like besides my questions, I know people have questions for you as well. And
where you from, by the way, man?
I was born in New York, but I live in Virginia now.
Okay.
East Coast for most. You born Cali or?
LA, yeah.
Okay, for sure. Istanbul, yeah. So I'm not trying to ignore y'all. I'm just I want to actually get these questions out the way, and then at the end we could ask them a bunch of like questions about because we like sat down one day and watched a good amount of your short films, and I watched a lot of your short films outside of that. But like, I just took one stream and we just watched like, I want to say like 7, 8 of your short films, and and we were having discussions on a bunch of them, and we're like, this guy's interesting for sure. He's got an interesting mindset. So and
Thank you, man.
Yeah, they had some questions for you, and I know and then I also showed my family your page, and my sister had some questions as well.
What kind of question?
She's like it's like still about horror and stuff, but it's just more in depth. She's got that she's got that Princeton mindset. So she was like,
I feel that. That's dope. My family, they're not really into horror like that at all.
That's what I was about to ask you. I was like, your video, you were like, I got my family in the background, and I was like, does your family even watch your horrors? Are they interested in like that? Because it seems like a lot of dealing with you, especially with your other stuff as well.
Well, it's like one of those things where when I first started making scary movies, my grandma tried to stop me from doing it. My dad didn't want me to do it, and it's just because we're definitely from the church, so obviously, and they're a little bit more old school with it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's crazy because that was actually one of my questions.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, let's get started, and nice. y'all already know. To infinity, and y'all know the rest. It's your boy Buddlightyear here, and I'm back, and I'm black, and I'm back, and I'm black, and I'm back, and I'm black, and we're back with another one. We're back with a really dope interview. I'm excited about it. We're here to discuss a little horror content from a great film director out in the LA region. He goes by Alexander the Titan, by Alexander Henderson, and I found this guy through the Santa film, the short film, and that was probably like one of your biggest, like most viewed, not biggest, but most viewed on the YouTube. And I thought it was dope, and it was like a crazy perspective on Santa. And even the parents got me more shook than Santa did. So I thought that was dope to see. And obviously it got me I'm not gonna lie, it got me a decent amount of views on TikTok. I ain't gonna lie, but my reaction to it. But I enjoyed it, and I just wanted to say, and you also your production company is called Rot Horror now, not Installments. It's Rot Horror now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But say what's up to the people, Alexander.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for watching my stuff. I really appreciate it. It's an honor. Definitely keep watching if you want to watch more scary stuff. I got more stuff coming up. Sure. But yeah, thanks for having me, bro.
For sure. And he's not lying when he says he got more stuff coming, because I watched the film yesterday. Or did it come out yesterday? Rapunzel?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this man don't miss. But I really enjoyed that one, because I don't know, it was like, are you playing yourself in that film, or or it's just a character? Because it felt like you were playing yourself, but also like trying to help somebody else in the process. So it was kind of interesting to see. So I was trying to learn about that.
I was playing myself. As like literally a character that got hired off of Craigslist or something, where this lady wanted a document. But have you ever seen that movie Snow on the Bluff or something? J. Cole mentioned it in one of his songs.
Yes, I heard. Yeah, I remember it from J. Cole, but I haven't seen the film. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Snow on the Bluff. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. But it's like super authentic, and it's another one of those things where you don't understand if it's like the camera's a character or what's going on. But
it's like what? It was like a film one of my friends told me about that was in the past. That was like it felt like a snuff film, but it was like a real, like it was just like it was a horror film, but it felt so real that they had to ban it. Like I'm trying to remember the name of that song of that film, but it felt that real back then. Obviously now it's changed. Yeah, it's really old. I have to find out the name. I forgot what it's called again. But my friend was always talking about it.
Was it Faces of Death?
I'm trying to remember I totally forgot the name, but if my friend comes in the chat, I'll ask him. But obviously his production company is called Rot Horror. They do a bunch of different short films, but he also has longer length films. And one of my questions was, is it harder to create a short film or a longer length film? Because I know there's pros and cons. Like short films, you could tell a story, but it can't be full fleshed out story, but you could still give a good premise and good what am I trying to say, like a good narrative in a short film, and people will hold on to that more, while a longer film, it might be you could give more, but people might, you know how this day and age, they might forget things and like can't like skip certain parts that you wanted to really tell, while in short films you could still give that, but it's just not as detailed. But I was just wondering what's harder for you to do, shorter or longer films?
I mean, definitely for me it would be longer films. The way that I've been looking at it lately, man, is where short films will be like making a single in music, whereas a feature would be kind of like an album kind of thing. And it's the album, you could get more across if people actually go through the entire album or feature, longer film. Whereas a short, you could deliver a punch, but the story is so fragmented that it doesn't always hit. But it hits some people, but it doesn't always hit.
Yeah, for sure.
Every time I go into like a feature, I think it's gonna be so easy because ultimately it's like just 10 short films put together. But man, it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of me every time. Like I get out of shape, I lose all my time. I don't spend too much time with my family. I can't focus on anything really, just other than making the longer.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. See, yeah. People don't see that side of it. Yeah, how draining it can be, and when you say your family, you have multiple kids or just you have kids?
Yeah. I have one daughter and I have one wife.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Not two wives. You're not into that. But that's
I'm just joking. My wife's probably gonna end up watching this later on. So.
No, it's fine. He has one daughter and one wife. It's fine. Yeah. But that's really interesting. Like I think it was what was your latest one? Was Becoming Death?
Becoming Death.
Yeah. So you're saying that was when I watched that well, not just the film, but the when you were telling about yourself, you're saying that you had to work with other people, like work with this lady to help you write a little more, and you had over 130 pages written, and I was like, I fully understand why it takes an investment in this, and I was just interested, like, do you usually work with multiple writers or different things like that, or it was just that one time you did that? And how's the process for like just writing horror in general for you?
Well, so yeah, I always work with a few people. I always work with my buddy Adam Cabrera. He's on YouTube, by the way, too. His name is Capricious Cabrera. But I always work with him. He like produces almost like every one of my projects. And that particular film was weird because I'd been doing a bunch of short films and stuff, and I wanted to make a feature that was like very easy to make. And I've gone down like this rabbit hole of watching these movies that are in the category of slow cinema, pretty much, which is like very slow, drawn out movies that are hard to get through. I watched this movie called Stalker twice by Andrei Tarkovsky.
Yeah. I wrote down all the films you said too. I definitely need to check them out, and the Maniac one as well. Yeah, I definitely interested in that one. I was like, yo, these look trippy.
Maniac is really trippy, but they're all like hard to get through, like really, really hard to get through. So I wrote like initially I wrote like 40 pages, like a 40-page script, and it was pretty quick, pretty easy to make it. It was a very simple, like fragmented part of somebody's life. And then what I did was I added a bunch of spaces like in the script that shouldn't be there, but I added the spaces where I wanted the actors to pause. You know what I mean? That way people could actually fill the time. Because, you know, if you use time in the film, you could, I think, in my opinion, you can make it more of a task to get through. And then at the end of the film, people will actually absorb the material a little bit more, which is good if there's like a redemptive quality in most cases. But, But yeah, then I read it, and initially it was like the story was about a woman who was house sitting for a couple, and then she ended up killing the couple and then hiding them in the house, and kind of like it actually was. But then some other stuff happened, and she like started going psycho and went out to like an orange grove, and like it got like way too trippy. So I brought on Mary Allman, who is like a more grounded writer. And she kind of made it a little bit more relatable.
She's like an edit. Like did she write more? Like when you said 130 pages, like, or she just edited your stuff, or did you continue that?
So I eventually got it up to like, I don't know if it was 130, maybe it was like 120, anywhere between 120 and 140. And the way we would do it was we would share like a document on Dropbox. And I'd write like a huge scene, and I'd be like, yo, Mary, can you check this out? And can you make some changes? And she would make some really good changes, send it back to me. I'm like, all right, this is good. Let's move on to like the next section. I think like we need another scene right here. So we just kind of worked back and forth like that pretty quickly too. In fact, we were writing while we were filming sometimes. So it was,
I respect that, because like even when like I edit a lot of my videos, all of my videos, and so I understand that process of you need just to get somebody to talk to, just to break down like, yo, what do you see in this, and like oh, I didn't see that there, maybe, and then just work on that. And when I'm editing, that's extremely helpful for me. I don't talk to a lot of people with my editing, but when I do talk to people, it is helpful. So I understand your point there.
When you do edits, do you like show it to other people before you export and publish?
Sometimes some family members, some friends. I do, but especially if I'm doing it for like, if I do the clip for a TikTok or stuff like that. But for the most part, I know when I hit, you know. But yeah, one thing I do really enjoy about your films, it's a lot of all these horror film, like short films that you do, they have a lot of one-on-one interactions with either the entity and the human, and not all the time is the human like scared or like aware of the entity, like it being an entity. And I like that you make the entity or the spirit or whatever you want to call it, human-like. And it kind of gives that trippy vibe that people are like, what are they doing? Like, they should be scared of this thing and stuff like that. But in a way, maybe I'm just looking too deep into this, but it's like everybody has their demons in life, and you're trying to, and everybody's faces them in different ways, and not everybody's going to be scared of a certain entity or spirit or whatever situation they're at, and they express in a different way. And I think that's so dope because you do it in a lot of your films, like Candy, when the black guy, he was just like, no, go away, like this is not the time. You do it in Aquila right here, when the guy's just bucking at the freaking entity instead of being scared, and I thought that was hilarious. You do it in The Lady. You do it in a lot of your films, and I think that's so dope. Is that done on purpose, or are you? It's just fascinating to me that how you get that feeling, even though I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or not.
I definitely don't do it on purpose, man. A lot of the things that I make, it's not like I'm not really trying to. I never really get too deep on any of like the decisions that I make because they just come out. And the approach that I take is, I think the way that I would kind of approach things, but then I'll also take like criticisms from like people when they read the script, and I'll make changes and things like that. But
sure,
definitely I don't try to get too precious with like the script and the creative process at all, bro.
So thanks. I'm just overthinking things. Thanks, I appreciate that.
No, you know, that's the thing that's so cool about film, man, is I overthink things too. That I overthink as a viewer more than I do as, like, you know, making it.
For sure.
Just like with music too, right?
That's
because
true.
I'm sure that
That's
with
true.
music, when artists go in the studio and make a lot of songs, I know for sure, I know for a fact that they don't put too much time into it. It's up for us to do that.
For sure. It's like, no, man, I'm just talking about drugs here. But you're saying so much. Like, you gotta be talking about more. I just like my lean. Shout out to my money back. but yeah, I understand. But so it's not on purpose. Great.
So some of the stuff is on purpose, but like with short films, I don't get like a lot of things are on purpose. Like my pretentious film would be Becoming Death. That was like my whole like doing a bunch of things on purpose and like trying to like give super Stanley Kubrick kind of vibe. But other than that, it was a lot of the stuff. It's just like I definitely respect the viewer. And I try to make things real, and I always put an opinion on something. But for the most part, it's what works and what I think of with going with my first mind, man.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's what was going to lead up to my next question, because since it's not on purpose, but it feels like it. It was like, because even in your, like, you do romantic dramas as well. And you done, like, I seen 2 on your channel. And I've watched one, I think it was Spirit of the Queen. And then the other one was How to Love. But the Spirit of the Queen, again, you're doing these one-on-one interactions that are so, like, compelling. Like, it makes you, like, I feel like it's similar to your horrors. Like, because even in the Spirit of the Queen, one point I really thought she was going to do something crazy. And just the anticipation of that and having those one-on-one interactions with the characters is really deep. And I thought that was dope. And again, you said you don't do it on purpose, but...
With that, I did.
Oh, on that? Okay. So, and do you enjoy doing these type of films more, or is just all films like to you like that?
Man, what's crazy? Well, How to Love, both of those films. Spirit of a Queen was actually a horror film, and I always argue with.
That's great. It did feel like that. I was like, I don't want that baby either.
Yeah. Oh man. argue with Vic and Jenna. I was like constantly arguing with them, telling them that like, yo, this is a horror film. This isn't like a romance, and it kind of pushes into a drama, but it's not really that either. It's just like a real life kind of.
It's
horror,
real life.
You know
It's just real life. Yeah. You felt
for everybody.
It too. Yeah, I know.
You know,
That's crazy. Okay.
And then How to Love was also like another thing where it was How to Love was initially it was supposed to be a horror where it had like a crazy ending. I don't even remember because it was so long ago, but it was supposed to have like a ridiculous ending, and I ended up just turning it into a romance. But those, you know, like those one-on-one reactions, especially with our people, are very like easy to do because, you know, I grew up around them, and like, I've seen so many of those like scenarios play out. Not saying that I'm pulling from any one specific experience, but it's just kind of just like putting our story out there, and I want to do more of that too, bro. To be honest, because
that was my other question. Do you wanna do more than just horror films, or you looking deeper into other films like genres? I mean, not
a little bit, man. What I'm focused on going on in the future is like making films that have a redemptive quality to them. That way, you know, because when you grow up, you watch movies like Ferris Bueller and Boys in the Hood, like all these movies that have
classics.
Like good yeah, and they teach you things about life. So I think I need to start doing that a little bit more, and that's what I'm probably gonna start doing.
That'll be dope, because yeah. Especially
they're hard though.
Yeah,
hard to make,
I believe it. I believe it, because you don't want to be too cheesy with it, with how you're coming off on teaching people something, but you still want to teach something. And I understand that. I respect that.
At least having like a good ending, man.
That's actually speaking of viewers, shout out everybody's tuning in right now. Hey, what's up, Queen? T, appreciate y'all. But I'm loving this. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, somebody asked me when we were watching the films, is it hard to make an ending in a horror? Because it's hard to like just end something, like, and how do you go about like going about just like ending one of these horrors? Because a lot of horrors end just abruptly, like, or some get drawn, some are drawn out, but like some just end and you're just like on a cliffhanger. Or do you want to do that, or is just how the film is? Depends on how the film.
I always like the abrupt endings that normally people don't like because, you know, man, that's also like life just abruptly ends. You know?
True.
You know what I mean?
True. And it's like life hits you with things, and then it leaves it up to the viewer to interpret how you want to view something. So that
exactly, and it's like every story, literally every story, and I think I've thought about it for a while, but I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure that most of every story ends in a way where it's just like, dang, that's it. You know what I mean? Like every little story. So,
especially, now that I think about it, even the really good ones, especially the really good ones, end that way. You're just like, come on, man, just a little. You could have wrote a little more, but
But yeah, I was talking more about like, I guess just like in our everyday life, you know, like every task ends in a way. I don't know, man. But yeah, making endings in horror movies I think they're hard if you make like a really good ending. Those are hard, and it kind of feeds into what we were talking about, like having those redemptive qualities by the end of the movie, where you have like, you know, where you push forward some sort of morality. Those are hard to squeeze into a film, in my opinion, and they're definitely not easy to do. And sometimes the scapegoat could be to just like end it abruptly in a horror film. So
I could see that actually. Yeah. That actually makes sense. But all right, okay. And oh yeah. There was a question I had on that as well. What was I talking? Oh yeah. What? Yeah, you can ask me.
I was gonna say, what do you think about it, man? About the way horror films end? Do you think they're difficult to find a good ending in a horror film?
Yes. I think it's extremely difficult and I fully understand that it's hard, like on how you want to end it, and it's, I don't want to like discredit, but a lot of horror films don't end really well to me, but there's still were good to me, and it was like the film, like the big film that everybody knows is Get Out. He gave us two endings just to satisfy like people, like, and I feel like that's what it leans more to. But I don't want that. I don't need it. Just do what you feel is best, especially as a film director. Just do what you feel is best, because obviously you had the ending with the cop coming, and then the other part where the cop didn't come. But but and I also feel like the worst of the ending, like not worse like in the sense of it being a bad film, but the worst, like something bad ending, like something bad happening to the character, actually is more interesting to me. I can't, yeah, because I seen that in some of your films, like where the the human ends up dying or getting taken or something like that, and I'd rather have that than just a cheesy, simple, like, oh, he gets away type vibe. So yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
That's good to know.
And there was during everybody during the pandemic, during 2020 during 2020, there's a lot of like people staying at home, watching stuff, just staying at home. And how was that process? I know you made a whole series on it. This it's the Safer at Home series, and I know you made a whole series on it. How was that filming during a actual pandemic? How was that just doing that, and what was the vibe in that?
It was there was literally like at the time when we filmed it, there was literally no traffic. It was during the time where we were like, it was at the time when we thought like everyone was pretty much gonna die. We thought it was like Contagion, a movie like Contagion. It was brand new, and I think we did that like within the first couple of months of like the pandemic. And
really? It was the first couple.
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was like so. But no one was really like, no one on the crew or the cast were really freaked out about it, and we all were pretty safe the way that we filmed it.
Okay.
But when we did film it, that was like the time we had the opportunity to close the gap between like, you know, the independent and like the big studio. So that's what we were like, yo, let's close this gap a little bit.
True.
Let's get better. Let's use this experience to get better at making movies and get some work done. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool. I'm not like the hugest fan of that project for whatever reason. I thought it was. It was, but there were a lot of people involved in it, and
True.
That was kind of cool. It was cool to collaborate with a lot of people. Like my buddy Harold White, he was the creator of it, and he worked closely with his wife at night, just like coming up with concepts for like the for the episode. And they would get the concept over to Michael Cologne, who's also like a really big guy in horror, and he would write the script. and then he would deliver it to me and Adam Cabrera, who was also in Aquila, and then we would take it to set and
Oh yeah.
just and we would disregard the script. Random stuff.
That sounds about right. Oh man, that's funny.
No, there was no traffic. That was like the vibe. If I were to say like one thing about it, there was no traffic and it was quiet.
That's the most memorable part. It was amazing. No traffic.
Exactly.
I respect it.
No traffic.
That's hilarious though. Yeah, because I just thought it was interesting because I know around that time I was like actually working I was a correction officer. So I was working in the jail during the COVID time and it was crazy. So I was just wondering how it was for you filming that. So
were you guys letting people out of jail and stuff at the time or not?
The ones with little petty charges, yeah. We definitely let them out.
Was it a lot?
My jail carried a decent amount of people, but it was like in the like I would say 70s to 80s.
Anyway, so what was like?
It was like petty stuff, like the petty crime. They were like, all right, man, child support. Like I don't understand why you putting these people in jail. Like, how are they going to pay child support if they in here? I don't understand that. I didn't really understand that. But yeah, the jail was going nuts. But there's a lot of court cases.
How were they with it? Were they like freaked out, or did they not care?
The inmates or us?
Inmates.
It was they weren't. I can't really tell with them because they don't really care about that stuff when they're in the inside. They're thinking about other stuff. They were more thinking about their families and different things. Like from the people that I was cool with and I talked to, they were more interested in like making sure their family's all right, and they just didn't want to be in a cell block with the COVID. But we keep that pretty under wrap, like pretty well safe.
That's good.
As much as we could, but yeah. but yeah, that's crazy. That's there was. I also was wondering. You also said in when you were telling us more about yourself in one of in that video, you said you didn't like watching as much as you liked making the films, and I was like, is that true? Or and
it's kind of like what you said earlier.
What was that?
Kind of like what you said earlier about like you had mentioned that when you were younger you would be afraid of it, whereas now it's like. So if you're not afraid of it, then you just like it loses all of its.
True, that's true. Because that's I was gonna ask. I was like, do you play horror games? Because that's how I feel. Like when I first started playing horror games, like I was stressed. People will probably tell me now that I'm still stressed. Like, but man, nah, I beat my horror games. But I was legit stressed. I was like, man, this is a lot. But now that I've played so many horror games that it's just it doesn't faze me as much. But I still try to get that fear out because there's certain points where I do get scared, but it's like it's not as it was before when I hesitated every second when I used to play horror games. Like I would hesitate a corner, I'll be like, come on man, I know there's a jump scare coming, I know there's a jump scare coming. But so I was just wondering that, so do you play any horror games?
Is that because like is that because all the games are similar at this point, or just it could because you know what to expect, or
that's a good question. That's a good question. A little bit of both. Yeah, games are like some of the games I play are getting a little generic and like with their jump scares, but there's some that change that. But for the most part, yeah, I do know when or feel when something's gonna happen because I've I've seen it or I've dealt with it before. So I kind of understand now when I ask that question, why do you like watching? Like, you don't like watching more than making, and it's starting to make sense now. It's starting to make sense.
Man, I mean, you think about it, like scary movies they're what scary experiences really are what movies are supposed to be is they're supposed to be like an immersive experience so that make you scared. And I'm sure like back when you watched back in like the 70s when they watched The Exorcist, it was like probably like man, they were probably
yeah, I can't even imagine back then. Oh man.
And then you're 32, so you probably played Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
Was it when they first came out back in the PlayStation?
Yeah. Well, I didn't play it. I let my dad play it. I was like, yo, my dad used to play a lot of the video games, and he got on the regular PlayStation 1. He got Resident Evil, and I was like, yeah, you got it. I'll watch you play this because I'm not touching this game. Because back then, when I was a kid, I always thought like dying in the game was real. Like to an extent, like it was real. Like I didn't want to lose my character in the game, so I would watch my dad play through these games, and then I'll eventually come to it after I watched a lot, read a lot of guides, and I was like, all right, like so it's just like I never really wanted to play them. I enjoyed watching them more.
I feel that. Yeah, I watch a lot of surprisingly, I watch like a lot of gameplay, like horror gameplay videos, just for like inspiration. Because I think horror games are like they're way more immersive than movies, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And they're getting even more immersive and like more realistic. Like I just purchased this game today called Martha is Dead, and it's dealing with a big controversy because PlayStation had to censor a part in the game, and they don't normally censor games, console games. So it's a big deal.
Wow.
But it was basically I played the demo, and I played it early, and I was like, it's really graphic because the game looks super realistic, but she's basically cutting her sister's skin off to steal her identity. It was like a metaphor, or like what do you want to call symbolic or something like that. I don't know the words, but she cut her sister's skin off to wear it as her own face, so people would think it's her, and because they hated her as a person, but they loved her sister, so she wanted to be her sister. And they saw that part of the game, but not the deeper part of the game. So they just saw that one scene and they were like, oh my God, this is crazy. This game is too much. Like, and they censored it and they took it out of the game. Well, the console game, but they still have it on PC. But like, yeah, so I thought it was, yeah, so horror games are getting way more immersive and people are starting to see that more. But I thought that was interesting. So that's why it really made me want to play it more, actually.
That's from PlayStation 3 or 4?
That's the PlayStation 5. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's new.
Yeah, it's the game just came out today, but the reviews came out like 2 weeks ago or something, and they censored it. They saw that part of the game and they censored that but it's only on PlayStation. It's not censored on PC.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, but yeah.
We'll check that out.
Yeah, so you said you did play, or do you play horror games, or is just?
I haven't played games. I stopped playing games like during the pandemic just because I can't stream or nothing, so it doesn't make much sense for me to do it, and I get like super addicted to it, so I can't really play.
I fully understand that. I fully understand.
I play with my daughter sometimes. We play like Roblox, like the pizza guy.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Kids love Roblox. I don't understand. Like
I don't understand either.
they were trying to get me into the Squid Game Roblox, and it was I was like, I'm just not into this. But I definitely had another question to that. Oh no. Oh yeah. You were also talking about your Christian beliefs and like people, and it was your dad who didn't want you to do it, horror films, or
Yeah, nobody. I mean, first my grandma, obviously,
grandma. Okay.
Yeah, and then my dad after that. And
Okay. And so, and I was wondering.
I understand why.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that was my question. It was like, does horror make you question your beliefs, and is that even a bad thing to question like things in life? Like, I don't know. I didn't want to like make it too personal, but like I just was interested in.
No, not at all. I mean, so the way that I always look at it is like the Bible is scarier than any movie could ever be, in my opinion. If like you were to go in and, I mean, just like a basic reading of a lot of verses, the Bible is just it's a lot. Bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. And but I mean, there's such definitely a lot of good messages, and I think a lot of people need to read it. But that's always my excuse. Is like these horrors are also in the Bible, so you might think it's one thing, but
that's actually real. That's real right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's always my excuse, but I don't ever tell my grandma and my dad that.
I wouldn't tell them that. Yeah. I was like, yeah. I'm moving over to romantic comedies, you know, but not right now, you know.
And honestly, that's why I make like I'll sprinkle in some of those films like Spirit of a Queen and How to Love, and like add some culture into it.
This man's a freaking troll, bro. And speaking of troll, what are you doing in these house tours pretending to sleepwalk? I see it.
Sleepwalk.
You really sleepwalk? This is so you really be sleepwalking, and this is not a troll, these videos, because these videos are posted, like, I don't know if you know, but like these videos are huge, like on if you watch Nuke Top 5, or it's this guy that goes through tons of ghost videos and different things like that, and everybody really believes that you're going through some shit in your house sleepwalking pandemic, whatever you want to call it, and a lot of those films, like the films that you did, really caught me off. I was like, wait, hold up, this man's too good at what he's doing right now, so I can't ever tell. So you really do sleepwalk.
I sleepwalk and I have night terrors, but
oh wow.
I mean, I just sleepwalk and I have night terrors like on the regular, but I'm not really going anything. I'm not going through anything. Like, I'm not going through any psychological problems. I'm with like life, man.
People really like, they're like, man, this guy's dealing with some demons.
Yeah, but my house is haunted, and my last apartment was haunted. So.
This guy, bro, I can't stand this guy. Are you serious?
Yeah, my house right now, the one that I live in, is haunted, and my last one was also haunted. So I got a couple of videos. I mean, there's so many different things that happen in this particular house. But my last house, like
this house right here is not the one with the fridge, right? Where you go in the fridge.
No.
And the orange juice. Okay. This house is the one with the person on the outside, looking outside on the other side, looking at you.
In this house, I made if you watch Becoming Death, that's the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like stuff that happened. There's something that happened last night.
I can't stand this guy.
And my wife's cat, like gets super scared sometimes, and she'll run up all the way up to like the third floor, and we'll have to go get her. And she'll be like curled up in the corner. We have like weird power issues, and we had a balloon that came, but the balloon like helium somehow it.
Am I back? Am I back?
Oh, sorry, man.
No, that was
Probably
my
my
fault.
service.
I'm trying to see if we're back. Yeah, we're good now. We're good. The last part I heard was your cat was going nuts, and and it was stressing.
Yeah, she went crazy last night. Made a big, like, huge fuss in this house.
I feel you enjoy this, don't you? Why would you get 2 houses that are haunted, man?
I know, man.
That's crazy. What are the chances? And you're a horror director. Like, that's impressive.
You can sleep better.
You can
Sleep better with the closet open.
Yo, this guy, man. And these films, have you actually, like, caught yourself, like, film yourself sleepwalking? Like, actually. Like, I don't believe in these films, okay? Stop lying to me. Like
my wife films them.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, she films it because, and we have we have a lot of them because she's supposed to film them and then show them to me.
Oh man, that's crazy though. That I was not expecting that. All right, so he's not a troll. Okay. We're back, everybody. Sorry about that. Poor kitty. Yeah, I know. Poor kitty, man. What up, Spice? By the way, Raiders. It's sexy voicemail. I can't stand you. Ain't no way. I know. Yeah, that's the same. This is the same dude in the Nukes top 5s. And he's saying his houses are really haunted. So we might have to do a little visit, you know? I want to do some investigating too.
Yeah, man. I mean, definitely. It's
because apparently there's a vampire in my area. There's like there's a cemetery where there's a actual vampire was buried in, and
what?
And
what?
people.
How's that happen? Yeah.
I was watching the film, and it's in Hollywood Cinema. I mean, not cinema, cemetery in Richmond, Virginia, and you could look it up yourself. But it's like there was like a vampire back in. I forgot when they said it was like 1700. I don't remember, but apparently he got buried in this tomb, and it looked like a big tomb, and you could actually hear him at night, and then hear different ghosts and different entities at night when you walk through the cemetery. But I want to see if it's true or not. I want to really see. But people saying you're too black for this. What are you doing?
Hey, that's true.
Oh man, but that's
that's true. Feel the same way.
God damn, I'm really shocked that your house. Okay, your house is really haunted. Okay, that's good. That's very wild. I had another question for y'all. It was not. Yeah, the sleepwalk.
Yeah, I feel like I'm too black to be making scary movies sometimes, but there's not enough of us in it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like this genre, like low key, this genre's meant for us too. Like we could really make a lot of dope stuff. Like, and it's really, and I really appreciate you like for even like stepping out and like just doing it, just going for it. It's dope to see.
Thank you.
I think I I have more questions from other people if you're down to answer them.
Yeah, man, sure. Definitely, man.
Yeah, just not too much longer for you. I understand. You got a life, got other things
Oh
to
man.
haunt.
Hey man, I appreciate you hitting me up either way, man.
Hey, for
Thank you
sure,
so
for
much.
sure. I appreciate that, Ray, for the 100. Um. Oh yeah. Okay. Here's. I got. My sister gave me a list of questions, but I'm gonna try to. Okay. What's your take on jump scares? Do you feel like what's the like? How much do you need to put in? Do you feel you need to put a crazy amount? Because I know you like more of the atmospheric like vibe of horrors. Like you don't want people just to get the, like you said, the stimulating senses like you get through TikTok and stuff. You want to dig deeper. So how do you feel about jump scares?
But I think they're probably necessary to, because most of the audience, they want that. They want
Yeah,
stimulation and they want like the escapism. So we gotta, they're necessary for most people. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
I think if you watch like a movie like The Others, they had like only two jump scares in the whole movie, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And
I forgot all
that
about
was
that movie.
it was a
That
classic,
movie was
right?
crazy. Yeah, it was nuts.
But those two jump scares were all you needed in that movie, I think. Surrounded, and then you have like this crazy atmosphere of like this crazy ghost story, and the atmosphere was so dope in that.
I fully agree
And then
with
you have
you, especially even in horror games. Like I
yeah,
feel
the
like
atmosphere, right?
the more jump scares they put in, the less I'm like, all right, I get it. You're trying to get me, but I get it. But like when you don't know when it's coming and like you just feel the atmosphere and the vibe and you're just like, all right, do it already. I'm scared. And
Yeah,
that's more of the scary that I like instead of just jump scare after jump scare. Like
yeah.
get stale.
Did you watch *Malignant* by James Wan?
Malignant.
*Malignant*, I think it was called *Malignant* by James Wan.
Trying to remember.
It, it's
I just keep
I'm
getting
pretty sure.
Midsummer in my head.
Oh, *Midsummer* was good too. I like *Midsummer*. It was trippy, wasn't it?
Yeah, to say the least. Like white people
Yeah,
are different, but not.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Good
for
movie though.
sure, for sure. The
But
cinematography was on point.
oh, it was crazy. But *Malignant*, it was a movie that it had like just jump scares all over the place. A lot of people ended up liking it. Like a lot of average viewers, they loved it, and that's
Okay,
always good. But
okay,
it depends on the way you look at the films. If you think it's better that a lot of people watch it and like it, and there's not much to it, or if a few people like it and they recognize there's so much to it. It just depends on how you approach it, I guess.
for sure, for sure. Hold on. I gotta see the videos. Yeah, he does some crazy stuff at his house. He's looking for an Asian actress with an Aussie accent. I'm available. Shut the hell. He's not looking. Oh my god, this girl Ray. I got people from all over as well. Like some people from Australia, some people from the village of Singapore. I'm just like, I got people from all
That's
over.
cool.
Detroit,
That's
the
cool.
really bad area of Detroit. Other places, I like trolling them, but yeah, we have
That's
people from
messed
all
up.
over. Yeah, we have people
That's
from.
crazy.
They got their self defense crew over there, so All right, another question they had. Well, my sister had. What type of child was he to make films like that?
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of right.
Where did he get his interest from? Oh man, but yeah, that's actually a pretty good question.
I mean, So I was just always watching like scary movies, like at
Mm.
5, 6,
You did say
7,
Chucky
bunch of
and all that. Mm.
like literally every scary movie. Chucky, and I remember loving American Psycho. There was like the movie The Dentist. I think the
Mm.
first movie I watched was Wizard of Oz, and that big face was just crazy.
Chill.
That was
There
creepy as
was,
could be, right?
yeah. Even in the black version of Oz, I was
Oh
creeped out
yeah,
by some things as well. I was like,
yeah.
but yeah. So I
And then,
understand.
and then man, we grew up with like Disney.
Oh
I guess we,
yes,
and
under
then,
the
and then all
bed.
those movies. Yeah.
The with that. Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. There's so much Disney Channel movies that yeah were dope, but still creep you out at the same time.
Yeah, they were just dark.
Yeah,
And and then grew up watching like a lot of Dragon Ball Z. Just like
facts.
yeah.
Tsunami all day.
Uh-huh. Uh, I mean, I wasn't like a crazy kid. And I just played sports all the time, so I was probably pretty normal. I just watched a lot of scary movies.
Facts. I feel you. Somebody. Oh yeah, somebody asked in chat. Did did you ask him his views on bats and should they be in the house? Uh, like we
Oh,
had this.
bat, like baseball bat.
Oh yeah, baseball bat. We had this long discussion while watching your film. We saw the girl. She was holding a bat, and I was like, "Do y'all really have bats in your house like that?" And I was like, "The last time I had a bat was when I was a kid," and I was like, "I just don't see like, yeah, intruder comes in, yeah, a bat's gonna really work." Like, and then this little girl, this 5'5" girl, want to tell me that it's gonna, oh yeah, I'm gonna swing away like it's signs, and I'm like, come on, man, like this is real life. You think a bat really? Do you have a bat?
I got a bat, but I don't. It's because I don't have a gun. I don't know how to shoot a gun or anything. So
This, I don't get that bat thing, but to each his own. But
you don't think the bats are good? Maybe the bats are too slow, huh?
yes, I feel like the
That was me this time, huh?
we're back. All right, we're good. But I feel like you could use. There's like way more dangerous things to use. I don't know. It's just it's just like better purpose for than a freaking bat, man. Maybe if you had like people said you put some nails in the bat or something like, but I don't know. They just been they always keep asking me like talking about that question, and I'm like, and they know how to trigger me, so you know. All right, another question is do you think horror's for everyone, or do you think people would could you find like a horror that everybody can enjoy? Do you think horror's for everyone, or it's more of a niche thing?
I think it's definitely for everyone. I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a film like.
I mean, they exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm trying to answer her own questions. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's tough, but I really do feel like that's what I also try to bring to my channels. Like, don't be afraid of these horror games. Don't be afraid to try these games or try to watch films. Like, especially we watch short films all the time on my channel or during Twitch. Like I take the time out every Friday to watch short films because I love watching like the independent filmmakers do dope things with, even if they're not as good as like the mainstream films. Some are better,
Yeah.
but I still find it cool and fascinating that people will take the time to make these things. And and there's always a message, but you can always find a message through
Yeah.
all these type of films. So I always thought that was dope.
It wasn't Get Out one of those movies that you could watch, that everyone could watch.
Actually, yeah, that's actually a good example, because I feel like it gives enough. Like, it's not scary in the sense of scary to what's the word I'm looking for? Not scary because it's scary to us.
Yeah.
but I'm trying, it's not for the mainstream people.
I feel you.
But
yeah, man.
Yeah, I feel
a lot of times you just take the scary music aspect away, and if the movie's not like, you know, flooded with darkness, then almost anybody could watch it. Sometimes if there's not like a lot of blood and stuff too. But
that's actually a good. Music is very important in cinema and games.
Yeah.
So, that's a great question. Like, how do you incorporate? Like, do you do the music before, or you just find what feels right after?
So sometimes I'll like use the music to like write a script, and then I'll end up making the film.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because the melody could push you in so many different ways in itself.
That's actually so true.
Yeah, and then I'll make like a little temp score based, like, and I'll just use like some popular music from other films that fit right in certain parts, and then I'll send it over to my composer, Dmitry Borisov, or I'll get somebody else to do it. My buddy Caleb, he'll do it sometimes.
Okay.
And just go from there.
That's dope.
But if you ever watch, like, I think there's a video of Mary Poppins where someone put like some scary music to it. Someone put like some scary music to it.
I gotta look that up. That's crazy. Actually, a lot of them old films, you could put like some scary music and you could get some. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And somebody had a question about one of your films. It was it the Baseball Lord, or was it the Ball Lord? Yeah, we were really confused about that one.
That was like one of my favorite films ever.
I bet you had everybody tripping. Like, I was like, wait, wait, what is yo?
That was one of those pretentious films.
You're Midsummer.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel you. That's. I was just wondering. I was like, yo, this man went out there with this one. But we were rocking with it though. We were just so confused.
It's very confusing.
But that was funny. I think. Oh yeah, my mom asked some random. It was like, do you remember the Scary Story books?
Which ones?
It was like called Scary Stories.
Oh, I didn't read. When did they come out?
It was like the 90s, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so
yeah.
Did it come out like?
I'm trying to. Let me.
Did it come out with like Goosebumps?
And the movie, they did a movie recently.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, but they came out. But those Scary Stories were like back. Yeah, when I was a kid, they had that book out. And it did come out with like Goosebumps and stuff, but it wasn't a show. It was just like, it was a book of series of scary stories. That was the only time where I could like actually read the horror stuff.
Man,
that
so
and Goosebumps.
Good.
That and I always enjoyed the Goosebumps where you told, like, you know, at the bottom, like they told you like skip to this page to it gave you choices. And I always thought that was dope. And I guess that's why I play a lot of choice-based games too right now. But like, I always thought that was dope. I was like, yo, I'm gonna choose that. And I flipped to the page. Oh, you know, I don't really like that. So I'm gonna go back. So I always enjoyed those Goosebumps as well. But and also, obviously, the show was iconic. Did
Heck
you
yeah.
ever? Did you enjoy? Yeah, yeah. One of
Oh,
my
I still
favorite
watch the show.
facts. Like, especially
Yeah.
if I could see it on YouTube. Like the more iconic one was with the mask. You remember the mask
Mm-hmm.
one? The girl with the
Yeah.
mask. Yeah, the mask was so
Oh
trippy,
man,
man. Yo, I was
that
so
must have been
scared.
everyone's favorite.
Yeah, I was so scared to put on the mask, like a mask ever as a kid. I was like, I do not want this sticking to my face. Please, please. So I'm
Oh, I
glad you
forgot about
remember
that
it
feeling.
too. Yeah, that was crazy. And then her voice changed too. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna talk like that. But yeah.
I think that was
So
a classic.
yeah. So did you get to read different books, or were you into books like that? Like
Yeah, yeah. I read that. I mean, I kind of stopped reading fiction after probably the fourth Harry Potter.
yeah, the 430.
And then that, and then after it was Goblet of Fire. That was like the last. That was the
Okay.
last of my childhood books, and I think I
Okay.
was probably like 16, 15, 17 at the time, somewhere in there.
True.
Um,
I think I stopped reading The Lord of the Rings. I read like
oh, then you
most
read
of
that?
that. Yeah, more, and I was like, all right, I think I'm done reading for the rest of my life. But yo, it was just so
Oh,
much,
funny.
man. It was so much.
That's funny.
But so I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we all grew up on Goosebumps, right? I
Facts.
wonder what they have now.
I know, right? What kids? What do kids? You have a kid? What do you got? You got her reading anything? She old
Well,
enough
she's
to read?
8. She's 8, so she's
Okay.
just about to go into third grade, and that's like when their comprehension hits, like in the third
True.
grade. So,
True. True.
so she hasn't really been like,
True.
she's I don't know yet. She's like on the
Yeah, for
smaller side.
sure. My mom always made us read like these African books and like different things
Yeah.
like that. Like it's like Keats. What's his? It was like a Keith. I forgot his name, but it's like a bunch of African books. Anansi the Spider, all that stuff.
Oh shoot! And then wait, what's that spider name?
Anansi.
That's
Yeah.
actually like I think there's actually lore of that in
Oh
Africa.
really?
That's like a Bloody Mary kind of folklore type of vibe in Africa, but it's like a spider or something that goes up in the
Oh,
corners. I'm pretty sure.
I actually could see that because when I was reading the book as a kid, thanks mom, but as a kid, I was like, yo, this is cool, but like,
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm reading this right now. But
there's more to it, huh?
yeah, for sure. There's always more to all these shows, these kid shows and different things like that, because adults make them. So they always throwing in certain context for adults.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all. Let me just finish reading chat, and I think that's all I got for you.
All right.
Did you ask about the ones? Y'all are crazy. Don't be the one with the worms in the sandwich freaked me out. The worms in the sandwich and Goosebumps. Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
like that one.
Wait, the worms in the mattress, right?
There was also one where there was a sandwich one, but I just remember the cover
Okay.
had worms with sandwich.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously the dummy. The dummy
Oh, yeah.
one was
Another
iconic.
classic.
Are you ever gonna use a dummy in a horror? Because there's a lot
Yeah,
of dummies.
I want to. I want to. I was trying to kind of do something similar to that with Rapunzel because that was my daughter's
Oh, true.
doll.
That was actually
and she
really
was-
good. I enjoyed that one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But yeah, that's crazy. Man, I really appreciate you coming through. Just let us know where we can find you. Your ad. I'm gonna link everybody your stuff. I've been linking everybody's stuff on my socials for the past couple of days. I think you're dope. Really appreciate you talking to me about this stuff. So thank you again.
Hey, man. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And you're doing great work.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, and I enjoy just learning more about outside, like the in depth stuff, like not just playing hard, but I enjoy learning. So I appreciate you again, and I hope we can talk some more sometime.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, bro.
And maybe yeah, for sure. And maybe when I create my own hard game, like you could write the story for me. I got you. Appreciate it.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I would actually
that'd be kind of dope. I appreciate you again. Good seeing you, man.
All right, man. Great talking to you.
For sure. All love.
Much love.
Another sip of CP playing all through the summer. Man, they both about to sink, so